All right. Hi, my name is Rafael from Stella Graphics.
My name is Ceci, and I'm also from Stella Graphics.
And today we are here with Alex. Ceci.
This is Alex. He is a realtor in the city of Hawthorne, and he works for a local company called Pacific Properties, which we've been doing business with for years. And he's, kind of one of our newer customers in the last few years, but loyalty is definitely important, something that I've seen in Alex. So we are very excited to have him here sharing his experience with us.
Hey, Alex, well, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Alex.
Hey, thanks you two for having me, and I appreciate that introduction. I actually grew up in Los Angeles, just up the way in South Central by the 105 and 110.
Yeah.
And, I was introduced to Johan a couple years ago, who's the broker at Pacific Properties Realty Group. And I was taking classes at Cerritos College for my real estate license. And I had kind of an internship course, and I was able to work with him. And, he told me that once I had my license to come back. And now I'm here. I got my license in September 2019.
Yeah.
And, since then I've been working with Johan. Of course, this past year has been a little crazy with COVID, but thankfully business hasn't exactly slowed down, and we've been keeping the ball rolling.
Good. So let me ask you, what made you get into real estate as your business?
So that's an interesting question. I actually grew up with my dad working in construction. We were doing stucco all across LA, to the valley, to Riverside sometimes. And I just remembered always, being around these houses that were being built, these really nice homes, these large homes, and then every now and again, he enjoyed going to open houses if he saw them, just on the street randomly when we could do that and drop into an open house. We'd go in, and I was a kid, but it always interested me, seeing the people there kind of hosting and having those conversations. And then also being on my dad's side, where we were just looking at homes and how exciting it was as a prospect, So growing up, I just always had that interest to go into the housing industry.
Cool. Now, you mentioned earlier about, the pandemic. And I think we've all gone through something during this COVID time. We're about to be a month in, believe it or not. I was looking at the calendar the other day. I'm like, wow, it's going to be a year of supposedly lockdown, unlockdown, and all that stuff, right?
So as 2 weeks is now gone into just about a year.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. So what would you say has been some of the challenges that you faced during this pandemic?
Getting new clients and new leads, new prospects. It's been difficult because we obviously can't go on the street, talk to people as comfortably, introduce ourselves, or hand out flyers, business cards, postcards, whatever it might be. It becomes a lot more difficult, not being able to do that. But I think it's about adjustment, and just trying to go with the market and seeing what works for you, and also seeing how other people are succeeding. I think at the same time, while we've had these difficulties, COVID has also given us new opportunities. And it's allowed me to see a lot more people posting on social media, and that's kind of where I drive my business through most, especially now. And seeing what works for other people. I try to emulate that. I think being a new realtor kind of helped me in a way. It's strange to say, but there's a lot of realtors that were already in the business for years before COVID happened, and it really created a disruption for their business. Mm-hmm. Whereas for me, I was just starting up. Before COVID started, I was just getting my first few open houses, and getting this obstacle in the middle of my start in this career really helped me shape a different kind of mindset and different strategies that I'll now be able to employ later in my business.
Yeah.
And it's not so much of a disruption. It's more of, just kind of new ideas and new strategies to navigate.
Definitely. So can you share maybe one of the major obstacles that you faced? Like you mentioned, you're new. So, in my, I've been around in different capacities for years, but I think that starting something new during a pandemic is actually beneficial. I agree with you 100%. But can you share one instance where you felt like you had come to a roadblock, and how did you overcome that specific roadblock?
I'm trying to think. So it just I don't think I have like a specific roadblock, but I think in general, it was pretty discouraging at the beginning, because like I said, I had my first open houses in January, February. and then March hits and suddenly everything shut down, you know. And I had an open house scheduled on March 15th, March
Oh
16th,
wow.
right around there. And, you know, I was there, and I think I had one client show up, or
Yeah.
one person show up, and they weren't really interested. And then after that, when I was trying to follow up with people, people weren't really interested in getting together, seeing houses,
Yeah.
or going to shop around. So just really trying to navigate that and seeing how I could meet new people, because of course, aside from my very close group of friends and family,
Yeah.
nobody knew that I was a realtor yet. Um, so just trying to get my name out, trying to figure out what strategies I was going to take, I think that was the biggest difficulty. Now that I think, it's like you said, it's been almost a year. I think people have kind of come to terms with it, and I know people are a lot more willing to get tested, and they're a lot more cautious, I want to say. There's some people that obviously aren't, but for the most part, I think like in this business, and the the preventative measures that have been in place, they're working.
Mhm.
And thankfully, the real estate industry, I mean, people always need a home,
Yeah.
so, and especially these days, with people working from home, and not really being able to have the space that they need in smaller apartments or things like that. uh there's a lot more people that are looking to buy right now.
Yeah.
So I think, just it's a general difficulty, it was getting my name out there, and trying to meet people. But once I've had a deal or two that closed at the end of the year, more people start seeing that on social media, and they
Yeah.
see that activity. So more people are reaching out, thankfully.
It kind of gets the ball rolling, right? Like, you kind
Right,
of,
right,
you hit a little pavement and you just want to kind of take a run from there, right?
right, exactly.
That's good. So finally, what advice would you give to people that are starting or thinking about starting either real estate or just any other business venture? Like general advice that you would give them. If I was to come and ask you, hey Alex, you know what, I'm thinking about starting this, what would you say to me?
uh it sounds generic, but definitely don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
Mhm.
It's a really interesting thing to say, especially in these days, because nobody's comfortable today. Everybody's kind of cautious. I know sometimes we'll see videos of concerts that we've been to, or sports events that we've been to, and we think to ourselves, we how did we do that at one point? We can't do that today. But I really think, learning to navigate those discomforts that people have, and making yourself uncomfortable to reach out to them, to connect with them, it's difficult, but it's definitely necessary, especially the way that everything's working today.
Absolutely. Okay, so Alex, thank you for joining us. We are going to go ahead and put your social media tags on this video. So go ahead and give Alex a follow. And again, thank you so much for your time, Alex. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And we'll keep working together. I'm really excited for everything that we can
Sounds good.
that we can
Thank you so
accomplish.
much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much.